Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. We're here for day 3 of September Stash Smash, and I may have bitten off more than I can chew. So I have 3 things that I would like to accomplish today. One is cutting up and making ephemera with this absolutely beautiful dress that no longer fits my daughter. I love all of the bits on it though, so I want to do something really fun with all of that. And then I have this book, which is America's Wild Woodlands. So the cover itself, I really would like to make a wintry journal out of it. I think I have 2 of these, to be honest, this one and another one. So I'm going to commit today to obviously like dealing with tearing the book apart. The cover, oof, that's so strong, is going to go in my cover box. Oof, there we go. I need a break now. There's a box that I keep that has nice covers in it so that I can pull from that and not keep the entire book. So I want to go through these pages. So we're going to commit. And then this one is also like a leftover cutting kind of book with Patricia Ludlow's beautiful illustrations. There's lots of things in here that have really large images and like, I think I'll probably want to make something like stationery with them, to be honest, because they're really nice. Oof, there we go. So that's going to get this out of my life. Whew, done. And the other thing I thought we could do that would be fun is to keep like a tally in my journal. Maybe I'll use this. I wonder if I could fit the whole month on here of things that we've used up. I think we can if I do it topically. So what did we do yesterday? So what have we done? Okay, so day 1. Okay, we're going to say book cover 1. Okay. Now papers, you know, I don't know if those really count. What else did I feel like I really I was using on day 1? Let me grab, what is this stuff here? Okay. Let me just pull it over here. Hold on. Okay. Let's get the project tray. So, how to judge. Let's say like, maybe book page stacks. Okay, so that will be how many book page stacks I use. So like this means that I did a collection. I went through my different, you know, random books and I pulled materials like this, you know, and I said, I'm putting that in a journal. I'm just going to count that as 1. It matters, but not as much as like truly using up a thing. So I think, yeah, that is what I will do. Now I'm also going to be using scrapbook paper. I cut up 3 pages of, let's say, scrapbook paper. Because I did cut up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Okay. And then if I need like a second list, I can make a second list, but I think that's fine. All right, so that was day 1. So on day 2, we made these, right? Okay. So I did finish a bunch more of these after making the video. I finished them all up because, you know, that's kind of part of the purpose for me, is to get through making all of these. Yeah. And you know what I might do? I don't think I'm going to use this. Hold on. I'm going to use a page of my actual journal. Let's do that, because I've got, you know, lots of space in August that I did not use up. So why don't, actually, but I could put it in September because this is happening in September. Maybe that's a sensible move, right? Let's see if I have a good spread here that would make sense. Pages that I feel like I really would like to write on specifically for this. I'm just going through the whole signature to decide here. That would be good, maybe. This nice big piece. And I can actually cover it with something which feels additionally useful. Not that though. I didn't know today would start out with this indecisiveness, but here we are. It's not really indecisiveness, I guess. Yeah, let's use this. Okay, this is an old piece of Air Canada paper. Yeah, I'll have more room here. This will be better. So let's just glue that right down on here. Okay. This glue stick is getting towards its end of life. So we'll do the glue spreading here. So it's like an Air Canada letter from like 1983 to a first officer from his new boss, because he just started his job at Air Canada, and it's kind of like an onboarding letter, like, you know, letting him know sort of like what they do every day and how to do stuff and get stuff, and you know, all the onboarding type conversations you have with a new employee. So then we'll put that down. Perfect. Okay, so I don't want to use like a thick pen like this either. I want, or like a marker pen. I want to use a regular pen, which I don't know where my pens are going, but I have noticed lately they seem to be migrating from my desk to unknown places. Either by my own hand or someone else's. Oh, there's a pen. Okay, here we go. So let me just grab this for a second, and I'll move my journal into the middle of this hullabaloo. And so we're going to do it here. So we're going to say September. Stash Smash. Okay. So this is going to be the pages where we're going to talk about what we used and maybe even what we made. So let's say what I made over here. This is a smaller page. What I used. So we'll come in here with book covers, one book page stack, one scrapbook paper, five. Okay, and then this is going to get easier to kind of manage as we go each day, because like I'll sort of be able to do it at the end of the video. Okay, so I didn't make anything on the first day. I just kind of got a book started, right? So maybe I can add a journal to this if I actually like complete the journal during this September stash smash. So what I made, what I used up. So I'm going to count these tags as what I made. And also, let's say scrap. Well, actually, 1, 2, I'd say like 3, 1, 2, 3 collage boards. Oops. Collage board. I used up 3 of those to make these. I'd say another book page stack because I went through the poetry book, and then I'm going to call that actually books that I used up. I used up that Brownies book. I think that was it. Let me look here. Oh, and that photo, that photography book, we got rid of that too. So we've used up 2 books already. So today I'll wait till the end to see what we've done. But let's count yesterday's tags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 in total. So I think also if you're gonna tally, you can tally outside of like when you make videos and stuff too, because like for me, you know, I made the video on these and then I spent some time finishing up the project, and like that to me is also, you know, it's stashing down. So we have made 14, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm doing it in those lines because I just like how it looks, but also I just think it's good because it's like a day-to-day thing I'm going to be doing. So yeah, that is what we're going to do. And I'm going to keep my original thing here. This has like been a bookmark that I've been using in my journal, but I'll keep it there so we can easily get to that page. Okay. All right, so let's get yesterday's stuff out of our head and move on here. So let's maybe just first go through these 2 books, and I'll set this book cover aside. I'm trying to decide, like, does it count to say that I made a book cover, like, that's, you know, readily usable? Probably not, but I'm going to keep these 2 green pages, and then we're going to be a little bit strict about what I keep as I go through this book. Like, it's got to really be something I'm going to use. So I like that. That's good. This I will definitely cut out. Don't need. That I'll keep. That's amazing. So as I'm filming today, it's my last day with the kids at home before school starts. My daughter was feeling a little under the weather last night. She was awake, but she seems fine now. Kids are just, I don't know, they're like that. Things can kind of happen and then they're gone. It's like I was at her baseball game, and there was one little girl who ended up not wanting to play that day because her legs were hurting. Her leg was hurting, and I heard her mom saying like, oh, you know, I don't know, like, if she's okay or not. I keep, you know, trying to tell myself this is just growing pains, but like, I don't think all the other kids are having this, and is it okay? And so, you know, I was listening because like my daughter also was getting some like behind her knee kind of leg pain, but like I told her, you know, take a break from the trampoline because, you know, she jumps on the trampoline a lot. So I've actually taken it out of the living room so she's not, you know, tempted to jump on it. So just take a break. And she hasn't had any leg pain in probably a month. And I do think that more than likely it was just growing pains. But like, it's always kind of good to know that other people, that's cute, are experiencing, you know, not to know other kids are hurting, but like, it's just good to know like you're not alone in something that makes you worry or that you experience. I like that cracked gravestone, and that's cool. It's also cool. Mushrooms. So I still got to find out what am I going to make with all this stuff too today, right? This one. We'll keep any of these kind of illustrations for sure. And then I also have to spend some time organizing the kids' clothes today. Before the beginning of school, I like to kind of clean out their drawers and fold everything again neatly. Take anything out that's going to be like inappropriate now for the season, which can be a little challenging because you don't know, like, is it going to stay warm? Is it going to stay cold? It's really gotten cool. But I know that we typically do get a little final flash of summer, so I don't want to like get rid of everything. But we can do with less summer being out. Kind of like to swap their whole seasonal wardrobe, but I also want to make sure if there's warm days that I don't overdress them, because I remember how that felt. Like, you got all these new clothes for school, like back to school clothes, and then you were like boiling hot every day because you were sort of forced to wear all your new clothes. And you're just like, oh, it's so hot. I remember that. So I'm going to try not to do that to the kids. But I also don't do back to school shopping. I buy my kids clothes relatively frequently, like, you know, a piece here and there, and so I don't find myself having to go in with the droves of parents at malls trying to find things. But my kids are also, I think, young enough to not care about labels and things like that, so I'm getting away with that. And I'm actually kind of hoping to keep them that way because yeah, I don't want to create label consumerist kind of people. I want my kids to be like into thrifting, I think, because it's much more sustainable. Oh, that's a tough one. What a nice page. I feel like that would just be a nice like page to be connected to another page to make a signature. That would be very nice. Also, I'm getting all of these signs to make an owl journal because I came across a beautiful owl poem this morning, but yeah. All right, now, so that's all that. Now let's go through here. We have the swing and this girl swinging here. And then we've got Mr. Nobody on the back. I tend to think I will probably go with her. This one doesn't really appeal to me at all, anything on here, but I'll check it for word snippets, so I'll just set it up there. Okay, I wandered lonely as a cloud. That's cool. This is really cool. But over here, this is the whole, these are the kind of things that I'm driven crazy by. When something's so big you can't use it, like the butterfly's ball. But like, look at those images. So like, obviously I'll keep that, and I'm going to go through the poetry and everything and make the best of it. Hurt no living thing. That is so sweet, and I love it. Christina Rossetti, her beautiful poetry. The Shut-Eye Train, so that's like a sleepy time kind of poem. Oh, here we go. The Owl and the Pussycat. See, like I said, owls, they're everywhere right now. Bedtime and Dreams. How many miles to Babylon? I like that candle image. And that might be all that I use other than words. Bed in Summer. The Land of Counterpane. I think I'll put that up there for word snippets. Good night. Sleep, baby, sleep. I'll put that up for word snippets. Oh yeah, the Flyaway Horse. Cradle Song and Dreams. The Moon. Is the Moon Tired? The Rockabye Lady. That's also gorgeous. El Dorado. Nah. The Windmill. And What Bobby Would Like. I'll use the Windmill. Love Count. And The Laughing Song. Word snippets, I think. Weather and seasons, the months, that's kind of cool. The human seasons. The north wind doth blow the wind. Could do something kind of neat with that as a background, I think. I'm just going to set it aside in the word snippet bin. Windy nights, the sound of wind, rain in summer, and spring. That's going to go into word snippets. Little raindrops, the hag, totally cool. Get this off here. Get rid of that, I think. Maybe I'll use that, actually. This girl cannot throw away a book spine. You know, the world would not be the same if I didn't keep it. These will go into word snippets. This will go into word snippets. All right. So this is the pile of stuff that I really would like to begin making something with. What doesn't get made goes into like the Tuesday 10 kind of paper bin. But I mean, my objective here is also not to like make that enormous either. So let's try not to. And then it just got darker in here. Did a light? Yeah. Oh yeah. One of my lights just went out. I have to fix that later. Okay. Sorry for that. Hopefully it's not too dark. Just one of my lights went out. I had to change the light bulb. All right. So then we have this dress. Okay. Now I was thinking about, you know, this is other randomness that I want to use eventually. I was thinking about this and like, first was thinking like, oh, I'll make tags or something. But you know, I think what I'm going to do is probably just first like separate the ruffle and see what I can use out of the ruffle. And then cut it apart like at the seams. And then I was sort of thinking like following for some of this the natural shape of whatever it is, like this poppy, this bird, you know, and making kind of like clustered pieces from that. So I think I'll do that, but then some things like this, you know, might be better as a tag. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to like make it use as much as I can because it's beautiful. So cut off these fabrics. That's kind of cute. It's like a little name label. I might keep that. Put it in my stash of bits. All right. So now we're in here. Get rid of all these tags. And while I do donate a lot of kid clothes, I also try to like, I think this is a better use for them in a lot of cases. I donate a lot of stuff, or I give stuff to friends, but like sometimes I think if you can just fully consume something in a way that its destination is done, that's a really good thing for the planet. It doesn't need to go into the thrift store environment and all that necessarily. Although with kids' clothes, like, you know, people buy a lot of kids' clothes in thrift stores. I can definitely attest to that. I'm one of them. I love thrifting for kids' clothes, especially like vintage. Oh, so good. It's a cute button. All right, where to begin? We're going to start here, and I'm just going to follow this ruffle and also this seam to the best of my ability. Let go, let go, let go. Okay. Now we've opened it up. Gonna just cut along this top seam that's been stitched here because it's going to remove these two ruffles at the top. And I'm doing this inside out so I can see the stitching, but also so that I'm not obsessing over what I may or may not be cutting on the front, because like it's just such a pretty fabric that I tend to get like caught up in like, oh, am I ruining it? But you know, you can only save what you can save. Don't stress. Okay, so that I'll deal with separately. Then this, I need to get the bottom ruffle off as well. And I'm going to do it this way so I can see the front. Ruffles are so long. There we go. Okay. Done and done. Now maybe what I do is I try to decide how to cut out these things. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is start here, and I'm going to cut a strip that doesn't specifically impact the next like section of things, right? And then we can bring this down a bit. Get rid of the seams. Okay, so now this is a lot less to deal with, right? So I think what I'll do with this piece is separate like this from this. So that'll get one project. This will be another. Could also separate that from that if you wanted to like make a smaller pocket or something, but I think I really like the idea of these becoming freeform shapes. Okay, let's see if we can't accomplish that again here. Maybe a little differently though. I'm gonna go in around these birds, because I sort of feel like they're their own piece. So that's done. Maybe I'm not going to be able. I feel like these are all going to end up being their own things. This deer's legs, you know, they're precariously too close. Okay, that will give us just this to deal with now. So I think I like the idea of making that into more of a independent kind of square from the rest. Then this, That could be like a pocket. And then these are like, I'm gonna literally just kind of fussy cut on the fabric, leaving lots of green space around though. So that becomes that. And that becomes that. And these little scraps are big enough to keep in my little beside the sewing machine scrap bin. Okay, so next thing I think I need to do will be to trim up this seam. Cute little bunny. I'm so sad that there's probably not enough of it to do anything with there because it's been placed on the seam. This fabric must have been just stunning. So all here we've got mostly like a floral situation going on. I don't think I can do much with a half a bunny, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is focus on the preservation of that deer. And this stuff down here, I think I'll cut it into two pieces so it can be kind of like floral. And we'll cut these ears down here off because again it's just not important. Alright, then here I'm going to try to preserve this. That little arm bit off, and this I'll put in my scraps by the sewing machine. I feel like this dress itself could just inspire like a really nice cottagecore kind of journal. It's just awesome. Okay, now we've got to go up the seam again. Now I really want to preserve this bunny, and then there's mushrooms and a chickadee up here. So cut the top there, and then I'm going to come under here. I'm not too concerned about geometry right now. I know some of these shapes might look a little unnatural. Not a problem at the moment. Because when we glue things down, we're going to have the option to kind of collage with this. This might even end up being like more than one video because I suspect I'm not going to get all this done today. I may just actually get into the prep process for what's actually going to happen with all this stuff. All right, let's go up this way now. That's good. Then we'll separate that from the house. That'll go into scrap, a little bit on the right here. All right, let's take a look here. Okay. It's getting rid of the button thing. Oops. This fabric's like a delicate silk, so it's a little challenging to cut for sure. Okay, that would be a good clustery shape, I think. Okay, now I think I'll go back to my concept of like straight lines. And I'll trim this to here. So we get that one fun piece and then this fun piece. And then we're back here and we got that awesome bunny and that mushroom house. This poor bunny, I don't think we've gotten to see it whole yet on this pattern, which is sad. How do I want to do this? I think that, and then I want to preserve the bunny. And get rid of this bunny's head. This can be like a bit of a pocket shape, maybe. This will become like a freeform cutout, like a fussy cut. And that will be that. All right. So we've cut up the main body. Now let's take a look at this. This bow I do not believe I'll use. Let me just see if there's clustery bits though that I can cut out. So I do see a mushroom here. See if I can cut around it here. Not going to be as worried about what I save on the ruffle because I'm actually probably going to cut some of it up just in bits like this to use on the top of tags because the fabric's so nice. There is a butterfly we could save here though. So hard to tear. Okay. these are all going to be scrappy bits to use on the top of tags, like little fabric pieces. Mushroom, mouse face. I think I'm done with this piece. I don't really think I need to keep any more of it. Then we have, put those away, this piece. I'm going to do the same kind of thing, but we might be able to, you know, save a little more. So here, of course, we have this awesome little bunny. And I'm just going to cut like the ruffling bit off and then tear off any seam that's attached to it. Bottom seam I might just leave alone because I think I can use that. Okay, I don't need another one of those mice, I think. I'm not as into the mouse as I am other things, but this I will use because it has both a flower and a chickadee. Let's cut the ruffle off, and then you can flatten that out, and when you glue it down, it'll be good. Now this, we've got the house, the bottom of the house and the flowers. I might just cut it at the edge of this flower. That'll be good. This, we have a butterfly scene. So this ruffle is good because like it gives you enough space that you could probably make pockets with the amount of fabric that you've got there. Ah, yay, the mushroom bunny. I'll cut off the mouse here. It's so cute. So this is the seam. We do have another chickadee there. I'm gonna save the chickadee. Is that the whole chickadee? Mostly. Yep. Another house with flowers, and I'll show you guys when I start making with these what's going to be really good is when you put the glue stick down and you can glue down this fabric, it's going to flatten it all out nice and neat like you know ironed it. And then I'll probably glue it down on a backing and then stitch around it to really hold it, you know, in exactly the position that I want it in. Okay. Next we've got butterfly and half rose. I don't think I want to keep that though, to be honest. I'm not fussed about that. This I do. Okay. Get this last bit of the ruffle off here. Then think I'll cut that in two because it'll be too big for one piece. And I'm going to just trim this side seam off. Perfect. All right. So I think today's video is literally just about, like, you know, the planning, the prepping of those materials. So see, now we're left with this stuff, which I need to work on using, and then this stuff. Okay, so we have 2 piles to get using. So like that's a part of the process though, right? So I'm not going to stop here. I'm obviously going to, I'll probably work on this a little in my own time and I'll show you what I made, but we'll do this together because I think there's kind of some educating I can do here with this project maybe. So that being said, thanks for hanging out with me for another day of bringing my stash down here at September Stash Smash. If you are taking part, let me know. I would love to see what you're up to. Or if you don't film videos, but you're using this as inspiration to kind of, you know, use things or work on a specific project that uses things, let me know. I'm totally inspired. I think September is a really nice time for a reset, a lot of change, a lot of, you know, it's kind of like spring cleaning, but like, you know, in that late summer transition to fall where we're kind of preparing to be nesting and we know, you know, the weather's going to be getting cooler. Maybe we'll be spending more time indoors. So we might want to make changes to our spaces and things like that. Anyways, thank you again for hanging out and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.